Glory to Jesus Christ. Today is day 21 of the Nativity Fast. In terms of what we're going to hear scripturally today, maybe we're heading into the second watch. So pay attention as we read from the gospel today about that. So day 21, a bit past the halfway point, December 5th. It's also exciting because it's the eve of St. Nicholas. So all the children should be getting all happy and ready for St. Nicholas to come tomorrow. In our parish, at 3 this afternoon, we'll be having our St. Nicholas Festival virtually, so I hope everyone's getting ready for that as well. So our scripture readings for today, the epistle is from Galatians chapter 3, verses 8 to 12. And the scripture, foreseeing that God would justify the Gentiles by faith, preached the gospel to Abraham beforehand, saying, "In you all the nations shall be blessed." So then those who are of faith are blessed with believing Abraham. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, "Cursed is everyone who does not continue in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them." But that no one is justified by the law in the sight of God is evident. For the just shall live by faith. Yet the law is not of faith, but the man who does them shall live by them. And then our gospel from Luke is from chapter 12, verses 32 to 40. "Do not fear, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell what you have and give alms. Provide yourselves money bags which do not grow old, a treasure in the heavens that does not fail, where no thief approaches nor moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." We're going to hear that again as we comment about this. "Let your waist be girded and your lamps burning. And you yourselves be like men who wait for their master when he will return from the wedding, that when he comes and knocks, they may open to him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the master, when he comes, will find watching. Assuredly, I say to you, that he will gird himself and have them sit down to eat, and will come and serve them. And if he should come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. But know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore, you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming in an hour you do not expect." There's that theme again of when Christ will come back that we don't know exactly when that is. But remember, we are living in those end times and should be preparing and ready. Another verse that we hear from that gospel is that blessed are those servants whom the master, when he comes, will find watching. That picks up the words of the Troparion when we have bridegroom matins beginning Holy Week. So a little bit of foreshadowing there as we get closer to the beginning of Great Lent this year as well. I want to read from the Fathers today. I'm going to combine the Blessed Theophylact and John of Kronstadt, and you'll see how that goes together. And so what we're going to read about is the second and the third watch that was mentioned in Luke's Gospel. So the Blessed Theophylact writes, "The second and third watch you may understand to mean the different periods of our life. For example, I might say that a man who is awake at the second and third watch seems to be the most vigilant, for it is during these hours of the night that the first and deepest period of sleep occurs. Likewise, you may understand that in the various circumstances of our life, there are particular times at which, if we are found to be awake and vigilant, we are blessed. Has someone stolen your goods? Have your children died? Have you been slandered? If at these times you do not fall, but your God and Master finds you awake, and you have not been moved to do something that is outside the path of his commandments, then you are blessed indeed. For he has found you awake at the second and third watches, that is, at times of terrible tribulations, which induce in a lax soul a death-like slumber and a fall. Therefore we must be awake and vigilant, for we are like a householder from whom, if he is awake, the thief cannot steal his goods. But if he is asleep, the thief will take everything and be gone. Some have understood the thief here to mean the devil, as the house is the soul and the householder is the man. But it seems that this interpretation is not consistent with the sequence of thought. Here, the coming of Christ is likened to a thief because it is unexpected. As one of the apostles says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. And here in the passage at hand, see how the Lord explains for us who is the thief. He says, be therefore watchful, for the Son of Man comes at an hour when you do not know. Some say that those who are awake at the first watch represent those who are the most diligent of all. Those who are awake at the second hour are those who are somewhat less diligent, and those who are awake at the third watch are those who are still less diligent. Others have explained the watches as the different ages of a man's life. In the first watch, we are youths. In the second watch, we are men. And in the third watch, we are old men. Blessed is he at whatever age he may be, who is found awake and diligent in doing good. And St. John of Kronstadt is one who comments like this about the times of life. And of course, St. John of Kronstadt is way later than the Blessed Theophylact. So St. John of Kronstadt writes, a day is the symbol of the transitory character of this earthly life. Noon comes soon upon morning and is followed by evening, and with the coming of night, the whole day has passed away. So does life itself pass away. And here's where we can hear the idea of the second and third watches. First, childhood, like early morning, then adolescence and manhood, like full day and noon, and lastly, old age, if God grants it, afterwards, inevitably, death. So be watchful and awake, that we heard from the Blessed Theophylact, and that we don't know when that thief comes. I forgot to put in the comments the scripture readings, so they're in there now. And then our two maxims for today from Father Hopko are maxim number 30, be cheerful, and 31, be simple, hidden, quiet, and small. So I'm going to pick up on the be cheerful one, that we're in a fast now. Hopefully you realize that, or you wouldn't be listening to these Nativity Fast videos. But in a fast, we are commanded to be cheerful. And let's hear from that from Matthew's Gospel. This is what we hear right before the beginning of Great Lent. Moreover, when you fast, do not be like the hypocrites with a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces that they may appear to men to be fasting. Assuredly, I say to you, they have their reward. But you, when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, so that you do not appear to men to be fasting, but to your Father who is in the secret place, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. And then it's interesting that in Matthew's Gospel, we hear what we just heard in Luke's Gospel with this. It says, do not lay up for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. So a beautiful connection with these two verses from Scripture from Matthew and Luke. So as we fast, we're cheerful. And when we're not fasting, we should be cheerful. I'm going to make a humble observation that in our world right now, too many people are mad. And that means we're missing the point. We're missing the big picture. We're missing God's love. What is the purpose of this fast? We're getting ready to joyfully celebrate God's love for us, that he sent his son into this world. There's no need to be mad. We need to be joyful and cheerful. Maxim number 30. Number 31, be simple, hidden, quiet, and small. And I can't help but think of the parable of the publican and the Pharisee with this, that the publican is the one who is small. He's quiet. And it's the Pharisee who's somehow being large and loud, and that everybody can see him. There's no humility in that, and that it's okay to be quiet and small. I think the world is yelling at us, ironically yelling at us, that that's not how we should be. But I think within the Scripture itself, the history of the church, the writings of the fathers, so many things point to that no, we're to be quiet, and small, that we don't need to be seen in the eyes of everyone else as the most important thing there is. We are the most important thing in the eyes of God. So never forget that. So be simple, hidden, quiet, and small. I pray that everyone has a blessed eve of St. Nicholas tonight, and then tomorrow a wonderful celebration as we remember this great saint in the midst of the fast. Christ is in our midst. He is and always shall be.